You know what? It's crazy. We've been waiting on a receiver. We have. Okay. We've been waiting on one. Ravens Flock Nation been waiting on a receiver. And regardless of what you think, we've been waiting on that vet. We got one. All right, what is going on, good people? Back at it again. Flock Nation speaks. Just a little quick one on Demarcus Robinson going to the Ravens. Oh, there's some thoughts, man. There's some thoughts that I have because we have been waiting. The Ravens fans, right? We've been like, when they gonna pick up another receiver? When is the time, right? When is the time that the Ravens are gonna pick up another receiver? Because let's be honest, I don't know. I don't know. Let's be honest, like when are the Ravens gonna pick up another receiver? Because we've been thinking Julio Jones was out there, Debo was out there, DK was out there. All these guys, right, were open to be moved. Now, some of them did. AJ Brown, another one. Some of them didn't get moved. Some of them, AJ Brown to the Eagles, right? Debo Samuel gets extended. DK gets extended, right? So some of these guys stayed, some of these guys went. Tyreek Hill was another guy that asked for a trade, and he got dipped out. So since Hollywood got traded, Ravens flock was thinking, what's gonna happen? What's gonna be the thing? Who's gonna be the receiver that the Ravens are gonna grab? Because now they got nobody established in the wide receiver room. And then, I mean, even when I posted the episode on Friday, even still, I'm sitting here thinking, there's a lot of unproven guys. This is the time to go ahead and pick up the slack and be that guy. I've been saying it for a couple of weeks now. This is the time to be that guy. If you want to be that guy, if you want to be the dude that is the guy for the Ravens, that's a top receiver in Ravens history or whatever, you want to start that front, now is the time to do it. And now they've added another receiver to the fold, Demarcus Robinson. Now, how do I feel about this, right? How do I feel about this? I'm up and down, man, because at first I was ecstatic. I'm not going to lie to you. When it first came across my feed, I'm like, okay, the Ravens didn't grab Demarcus Robinson. Let me tell you why I was excited. Because the Ravens grabbed Demarcus Robinson, and I've seen Demarcus Robinson towards the Ravens a couple times. So I'm like, to have that on, on the other end, let's see what's going to happen. Now I'm up in the air about it because I've seen, some of my favorite guys, that are film study guys, man. They break down the film, all NFL 22 guys like that, guys like Coach Evans, man. Sip the tally. I've heard these guys, they talking about this guy, Demarcus Robinson, and they're like, he got a mean curl route, and he's a good medium passing game guy, but at the same time, is he going to be a game breaker? It's left to see. And then I think about it. I think about this guy, Demarcus Robinson, this guy who I don't know right off if Demarcus was drafted high. I have to see that real quick. I'd have to see like when was Demarcus Robinson drafted. He was a 4th round pick, so he wasn't drafted high. But I think he was a guy with like high ceiling potential, right? He's always like, I remember, Kansas City had all this talent, and they talk about Demarcus Robinson. They just hoping this guy just comes out here and breaks out. And he put up some decent numbers. He really did. Like, he put up some decent numbers for Kansas City. He had a couple 400 yard seasons in the last couple seasons. 2021, he was a little bit down for the simple fact of he only played in 10 games. Only started in 10 games at least. So he didn't, he wasn't getting as much production. But I think too, like, I want to think that McCole Hardman had jumped out. I want to think that McCole Hardman had jumped out a little bit too, like, and become a guy who has stepped up. You had Tyreek, and McCole kind of slid into that role. DeMarcus was like 3-4. Of course, you got Travis Kelce too out there. So it's interesting, right? It's an interesting situation because Demarcus Robinson, I think for the Ravens is a pretty decent signing. I've seen a lot of people say yeah, a lot of people say nay. And I think I don't know. That's tough, man, because when you look at it, like McCole Hardman really did. Like McCole Hardman really came out here and kind of took it by storm a little bit, man. Like because when you look, like McCole Hardman kind of slid into the role that he was trying to slide into. I don't know. Demarcus Robinson is up and down for me, right? Because Demarcus Robinson has had a couple of decent seasons. Like looking at the stats, right? Demarcus Robinson had 466 in 2020, 449 in 2021, right? On 45 receptions in the first, on 32 receptions in the second. Then he had kind of an off year last year. He's pretty sure-handed for the most part. So I mean, he's not the veteran guy that I think Ravens fans were expecting to get. He's not that guy that like Ravens fans were like, oh yeah, we're gonna get Demarcus Robinson first things first because he had signed with the Raiders. But it was also weird too, like when you look at what Demarcus has done, and you look at, of course, they got Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, but that's about it. That's about as deep as it goes. Is there anybody else? Keelan Cole is out there too. Like, is there anybody else on the Raiders team that like Demarcus Robinson couldn't beat out in a wide receiver 3 battle? I don't necessarily think so. Now, I don't know. I think Demarcus comes in as a guy with, I think, a lot of potential. I think he's a guy who could maybe open some things up. He's made some plays, right? Demarcus has made some plays in the league. He's done some things. So it'll be interesting to see. Like, Demarcus Robinson, I think, is going to be a toss-up to make the roster because I'm going to be honest with you. We already know, right? We ain't got to worry about Bateman, Prochet, and Duvernay, and the rest is up in the air. I think Tylen definitely makes the roster. I think Tylen Wallace definitely makes the roster. I think if Shamar Bridges keeps up what he's done, I think he makes the roster. So that leaves one almost like one more spot left. And, DeMarcus could take that. You got Slade Bolden in there battling. You got Malachi Polk in there battling as well, like a lot of these undrafted free agent guys. Like, it'll be interesting because with Demarcus Robinson, he's played meaningful snaps in the league, right? He's played with meaningful snaps in the league. He's played with good quarterbacks. What does that mean for the Ravens, though? What does that mean for him sliding in to this, rotation of wide receivers? And I think it depends on, too, like, he's just always been a guy that hasn't really reached the level that I think people have wanted him to reach. So this could be kind of one of those, like, you never know what you're going to get situations out of him. Because, I mean, he's been in the league for 6 years now. He's been in the league for 6 years. I don't think he's broke on the scene. He ain't had a 1,000-yard season. He ain't had a 500-yard season. Right. He never really peaked out as like wide receiver 2, as a wide receiver 2 type guy. So this might be dude gets cut. It's a shot in the dark. Let's take a chance at it. That's the biggest thing. That's what I've always been saying. There's never too much, right? I think Ravens fans have been living by this lately. Like there is never too many. There's never too many chances, right? I mean, meaning there's never too many receivers that you can pick up. The skill positions you can always have more and more and more and more and more. You know what I mean? There's always going to be more opportunities, right? There's always going to be, you can line up 5 receivers on the field at one time. So at the end of the day, and there's plenty of opportunity for guys. It just depends on what you want to do. So I think that's the thing. There's never too many. You can never have too many great receivers. Not to say DeMarcus is great yet, but at the same time, you can never have right now with the Ravens, with the way the Ravens going about it, you can never have too many unproven receivers, right? You can never have too many potentially good receivers, right? You can never have too many receivers that are hopefully set up for success. Maybe they might get on the field. Let's see what they're gonna do, right? And honestly though, you can never have too many receivers. That's why I was so like go after Julio Jones. If he's taking a step back, I mean, at least you trying. Like worst case scenario, you're trying something. Like, and I mean, this is trying, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know. Like I continue to think about this the more and more I talk about it. I'm like, is Demarcus Robinson a good fit or not? Like, he runs a mean curl route, and we've seen him a couple of times. He beat Marlowe with it. He beat, I think, Eli Apple with it. You know, he's beat a couple of decent corners with his what is it? It's a double move. It's a post a post corner, post, like, a post corner post type thing where you fake to the post, go to the corner, and then, fake to the post, fake to the corner, then fake back, then head back to the post and get exactly what you try to get that touchdown, try to get that opening. So I mean, he's got some good routes in his tree. He could just be a guy that's just like a good veteran presence. He's been there, done that, done a couple things. And two, somebody had brought this up too, like, it's things we don't think about. He's a Super Bowl champion, right? He's a Super Bowl champion. I don't know, I can't remember what he did in that Super Bowl in terms of like being a guy that was open at all times or anything like that. But at the same time, still, he's a guy who, in my opinion, I think there's potential, right? But I think there's potential with Duvernay. I think there's potential with Prochet. I think there's potential, as much as I hear about Tylan Wallace, there's potential with Tylan Wallace, right? Shamar Bridges, if used properly, from the little bit we've seen. Adding in Demarcus Robinson from the little bit that we've seen. Now, I mean, I don't know. I feel like, considering that Demarcus Robinson has been there, done that, the Raiders ended up signing him. I know they cut him, but still the Raiders ended up signing him. I think that can mean there's something there with Demarcus Robinson. There's potential, for lack of a better term, because I don't know if Demarcus has proven that he's a guy that can stay on a roster, but at the same time, as a number two, right? I mean, he's proven it as like a number 4, but has he proven it as a number 2? I don't know. Like, I'm still up in the air about this signing. Like, on one hand, I say you can't never have too many wide receivers. On the other hand, especially in the preseason, definitely in the preseason, because everybody gets a chance, But at the same time, I'm thinking, is this a good signing? Right? You tell me, right? You tell me at this point, because I'm really going back and forth. I don't think it can hurt, right? I don't think it can hurt. A guy who's got a Super Bowl under his belt, he's had a couple of, okay seasons, right? Maybe, a guy with plenty of potential in the world. Let's see what he does, right? Let's see what he does. Demarcus Robinson to the Ravens. I'm excited. I really am. It excites me that they're at least trying to go after people. Now, there was other bigger names they could have went after, but like I said before, they didn't go after the big names. So maybe that means they see something in the roster right now, right? Right. I mean, we know Bateman's gonna be that dude, but everybody else, I think they on prove it contracts, right? They on show me that you are who you think you are, who we signed you to be. And Demarcus Robinson adds to the illustrious list. But as always, hope you guys enjoyed a little quick video on Demarcus Robinson signing to the Ravens. What does it mean? Why was he cut from the Raiders? Right. What does it mean? Right. What does that mean? Is that big for the Ravens? Is it small? Is it relatively uncertainty? Who knows? Right. I think this is one of those, honestly, where we might have to wait and see. Right. We might have to wait and see exactly what's going to go down. Because let's be honest, right? And going back to this graphic right here, right? Back when they were free agents, right? Looking at, Valdez Scantling was out there. He went to the Chiefs. Julio Jones was out there. He went to the Bucks. T.Y., I think, re-signed with the Colts, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong on that one. I ain't heard nothing about Will Fuller. Jarvis, where did Jarvis go? I don't remember where Jarvis went. I know he got signed, but I don't remember where he went. Jarvis Landry, another guy. Saints, I think. It was the Saints, yeah. So, like, the Ravens have whiffed on a lot of the bigger free agent targets that we had talked about weeks ago. So, I mean, really probably like months ago at this point. So, I mean, Odell's still out there, right? There's a guy I think you take a chance on. Maybe it's Odell still. But like we said, maybe. Maybe that guy's already on the roster. Maybe they know something that we ain't seen yet. Because I mean, all we really seen is potential. That's it. Like we've seen Duvernay might be decent, Prochet might be decent, right? Bateman is probably gonna be good. Let's see, right? I mean, like I said, Ravens flock, we gotta just be patient with these receivers because it's what the Ravens are gonna give us, okay? And I hope these receivers prove me wrong. Like I hope that there is definitely plenty to look forward to this season. But as always, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm gonna be excited regardless, I think. But as always, hope you guys enjoyed Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Listen to Flock Nation Speaks on those. You can watch Flock Nation Speaks on YouTube as well. And if you happen to somehow find us on Facebook, there you go. But as always, hope you guys enjoyed the show. Demarcus Robinson to the Ravens. Let's see what happens.